Hello, my name is Dmitry, and we continue to build an e-commerce website that will go into production. In this part, we will work on authentication. In our shop, only admin will perform some action that need authentication. So we have to create an admin panel for that. We will do Nx generate next application called web admin. We'll use CSS, app router, and we basically got our new application. To run that, we have to add new start command called web admin, serve web admin, and we will specify port 3000 as a default port, and we have to specify 3000 to do some stuff later on. And we will hit serve all, and serve all will, as you remember, start everything that starts with the keyword start. And we got our new application up and running. Let's make it admin panel. So we'll use the same way how we communicate with our backend. We will use the same GraphQL. We will need environment variables, and we will need tailwindcss. Let's just copy it over to web admin. Let's add it. Let's modify. We will not extend the same color palette. Whoops. We don't need it. We don't need actually a whole theme. And we're not going to use this plugin for that. And pretty much done with the tailwind. Environment variables. We will actually use pretty much the same environment variables. Let's make TypeScript happy in here. And for let's call it web admin env. Let's fix it here. What is that? Yeah, I didn't specify the scope. Let's add scope for our web admin application. It will be scope web. Now linter should be happy, and we now access GraphQL on our pages. Let's start creating our pages. We'll not need API at the moment. And styles, we should move styles from our web project. Here inside styles we have only basic tailwind utils. And let's import it inside layout. Styles, we got it in here. Let's remove model. We got page. Let's check if we have like hello world, and inside class name we will do color text red. No, which do we have? Yellow. Found it. That will work. And now our text is yellow. Our tailwind classes works. So now we can add actual authentication to our page. Let's head into a clerk. That's a service that will help us with authentication. That actually authentication service, and it will provide us some components for NextJS, and it's so easy to integrate with that. We'll create new application, and we can select how will our users sign in. For our application we will use only Google, and that will be sign-in form. Let's call application of KinoDev and create. Now it's done. That's our environment variables. Let's copy environment variables and paste it inside .local.env. We have it in place. Now let's check how we integrate with that. We should install the package. Use env variables. We should also add a layout with the clerk provider. Let's copy it over. Inside layout, paste everything in, and we're good. We should add middleware. We used middleware for localization inside web project, but inside web admin we're not gonna use any localization. And we use it for authentication. We will not have any gRPCs, I guess, but we will use API. So basically here, everything under those matchers will be protected by Auth middleware. But we can modify it and customize it in the way we want. Let's head into middleware. That's how middleware basically works. It checks is public or authenticated route. If we authenticate it, we should do something after auth. If not, it checks the session and redirects to signing. So middleware basically have life cycles. It's like before auth, then auth is checked, and then we can call auth after auth. So after auth, we can modify it a little bit. Let's copy it over and paste it in here. So we don't need redirect to organization or something. We will do the following. So how it works? It checks on the private route. It will check authentication itself, and if not public route, then it will redirect user back to signing. But at the moment, like everything treated as private route and should be authenticated. We want to have some public routes, and it will be sign in, sign up, no, not that many. For now we have only sign in. Nice. We will create new route then called sign in and the page inside page.dsx. We will remove homepage, we will not have any, and inside we can actually and inside we will just export sign in button. Export default function sign in page, return. We need a wrapper which wraps sign in button, and we need redirect URL. We will redirect after successful sign in to dashboard, and that's it. We need some styles like I guess that should work. It means like full screen size, and we want to do it flex, item center, justify center. We should rerun our application to pick up new environment variables, I guess. And when it's done, let's head into sign in. As you can see, we have sign in right in the middle. But we don't want actually button, but sign in. Yeah, the sign in component. Let's make it actual size, so we can continue with Google. And I'm actually successfully authenticated and redirected to dashboard. Let's actually create our dashboard. New folder called dashboard, and inside we need actually layout .sx, and layout will be something from the UI. We will use this responsive drawer for our dashboard. It will be layout of our dashboard, and we will just copy styles from here and do default export default function, not sign in page, but dashboard layout, and return the component itself. Here we have children, which is React node. Yeah, that's true. Page content goes here. So here we render our page content. And here we will modify the sidebar items. It will be linked to dashboard. So close tag. And here we will use sign out button from Clark itself. And let's create a page file called page.tsx inside our dashboard that will form a dashboard page. Export default function dashboard page. Yep, looks good. Let's remove that. And it's good for testing. Let's see what we got. Inside layout, I missed the actual text. What is that? What I did wrong. Actually, I used Daisy UI, but I didn't integrate it inside of our application. Let's add it to Tailwind. Let's head into install and actually install Daisy UI. And npmi Daisy UI is that dependency. Let's add a plugin to Tailwind config. Oopsie. Yep, it's in place. And also I would like to use theme that provides by Daisy UI. I would like to use Lo-Fi theme, and it should be pretty easy. Just copy it over and remove everything except Lo-Fi. Done. And you see, styles applied. And we authenticated. We can sign out, we'll be redirected back to sign in, and we try to access our dashboard. Our middleware will intercept the request and we'll check the token. If we got no token, as at the moment we signed out, it will redirect back us to sign in. But we can hit continue to Google or with Google. It will authenticate us and redirect to dashboard. And here we got our private pages. So as you can see, Clerk gives you one of the easiest way to integrate authentication into your application. But we're not done yet. We want to protect our API, and let's do it real quick. For example, we want to get some data, and we can't await until I specify a thing here. And we want to await GQL from here dot get products. Yeah, get products. And for now, let's get products out of here and render it inside table. And we want to get table from Daisy UI. Let's head into Daisy UI, search for table. This one looks fine. Let's copy it over and paste it in. Format, and we will remove unneeded HTML. First row, let's collapse it, cut it out, and iterate over products. Map will have product in here. Brackets, please. Yep, right here. Missing something? One more. No. Good. Okay, first of all, key, of course. Product.name, the nuke one. Checkbox, we don't need checkboxes here. Thanks. For image, we will use image component, and we'll do the following. We need already our environment variables. Okay, copy it from here. Const something, web admin, you have storage, yeah. And inside here we have storage dot what URL plus slash plus product. On product we have images, I guess. Yeah, we have multiple, and we got just getting first one and image path. It could be null, I guess. And now we got. Let's give it Auth. It will be product name. Be good. Do we have checkboxes? Checkbox. No, don't need it. Okay. So I briefly modified this HTML to, in order to just render our product. Let's check how it looks. Yep, we're not able to get images from here because we not specified width property, but also we should add this domain name into next config. We'll do it in a few seconds. So we should specify width and height. And also let's get into web project config, copy images section and paste it in here. Let's refresh that. And we got list of our products. Nice, but it was public API. For example, I want to protect that. List of products will be public API anyways later on, but at the moment it's a nice place to add and experiment. So let's add authentication to that route. In order to do that, let's first understand how actually Clark provide an authentication. Let's get into network and let's refresh page one more time. As you can see, we have request to dashboard. It's basically localhost dashboard get URL, and we have an HTML as output. But we supply a cookie to our actual NextJS service, and it will validate if we're able to get to this page or not. And nowadays, HTTP only cookie is like a best-in-class solution for authentication, way better than keeping our GVT tokens inside local storage. But as you can see, it's not HTTP only at the moment, because it's for like development purposes. Clark gives the ability to use it as not only HTTP, and this same site policy should be strict as well. I hope it only for developed Lux. We will check in production, but I guess those guys know what they're doing. So on the backend side, we want to extract cookies, get this section value and pass it into our GraphQL server, NestJS server, and validate it one more time on backend, as our backend is like a public API and whoever can call it, and we don't want anybody be able to like modify our products or orders or whatever. So it's really important to protect your APIs, and it's fairly easy to do. So inside our dashboard page, we'll do the following. We don't have any variables, we will supply empty object, but in here, header request, we will do the thing. We will supply cookie, and not cookies, but cookie. And that's really important to do not mess up with naming, as mostly everything called cookies, but when you supply it through network, it should be cookie. Like one thing, it's easy to remember because through network it's just one string, one cookie, so it's important. So it should do the following: string await, sorry, let's do it like that. Await cookie, yes. And as you can see, it's cookies for NextJS and it NextJS header package. Now, in that way, we can supply cookies with our request to our backend. And it will be like backend-to-backend communication with those cookies. Now we should be able to get that cookie on NestJS side. To do that, we should add cookie package as like engine for our NestJS application. We're using Fastify. We should install Fastify cookie package. npmi Fastify cookie. Inside main.ts, we should register that package. Let's do it before. Await app register Fastify cookie. Let's copy it from TypeScript example. Is it happy? Yep. And register cookie. Should work now. Now we're able to extract the cookie from request. And we now should do so-called authorization guard for NestJS. And inside NestJS docs, there's a section called guards, and we need something like that. It will work. But for those guards, we should create a library called feature auth, directory API with compiler swc, buildable with stack scope API. Just for testing, swc for building. We're done. Inside auth, let's get into it. We create a file called auth_guard.ts. And we should export it from here, auth_guard. And let's copy content of that example and, oops, not here, but inside auth_guard, yes. Let's paste it in. We should somehow validate request and return true for now. And it could be done like that, but not for GraphQL. Inside GraphQL section, other features, here you got the way how you create actual context for GraphQL, and that's what we need. And we can do on the context, we can do get context, I guess, and we need request. Will it work? We'll see. Request, and let's console log it, as I'm not sure. And for now, we can use that guard on our resolvers. And we have product resolver here, and we have query that return all the products. We can do the following: use guards and auth guard. And so before calling that actual query, we will do check for authentication in here, and we will decide will user get that data or not. So after refreshing page, we're going into a page, dashboard page. In here, we getting products, extracting cookies out of our request, the NextJS request, and we forwarding those cookies into our GraphQL. Inside GraphQL, we hitting an auth guard, and here we can see we supplying session inside our cookies. We should validate that GVT token. Let's get into auth guard and check what inside cookie. Let's do it one more time. Refresh page, and you can see we have a few props on it, like clerk db GVT, client UAT, and session. And the session, that's exactly what we want. So we can extract it by doing session, but how will we validate that? So inside clerk documentation with manual GVT verification, On the bottom, we have a guide how we can do that. And that's pretty much it, but it's fairly easy. We just copy these few lines and paste it on the top. So that's the way how we form public key, as we can save it in our local env as one line, but it should be splitted for like 64 characters, and that's why we need those few lines of code. And let's actually get that ClarkGVT verification key. We should get into our project. Oh, we have a first user, that's me. And inside API keys, we go advanced, because we're really advanced, and copy this public key. And we need actually only inner data of it, because we joined it together later on. And paste it in local env. So make it one line and call it ClarkGVT verification key. So that's the key. We can refer it now. I guess it wants me to do it like that. And also like that. Now we're good, and as string array. Now we have our public key. And here we don't need that cookies package, but we need JSON Web Token. npmi JSON Web Token. While installing, we need only one command, just to verify that. And we call it const session token equals session. And we import GVT from JSON Web Token. And we do everything as GVT, and that's it. It will throw an error if session is expired or we supplied the wrong token or whatever. So we pretty secured our endpoint. So let's check if it actually works now. And as you can see, we're still able to get those products. It means we pass authentication on our NextJS application and NestJS application as well. Now we can like protect everything with that simple guard. Inside product resolver, we just actually protect everything. Except actually product and products. So those two will be like public queries, but mutation will be available only for authenticated users. And we will do basically the same for each resolver I got. That's basically it. So it was so easy to implement that with Clark and Next.js. That was it for today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.